What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. I'm LotusAsakura, the one that never knows best, bringing you some more Dragon Ball FighterZ, and today I'm joined by none other than my homie, my good friend, you know him, you love him, Dotodoya. Say what's good to the people, my fam.
Hey, how's it going? How's it going?
And so I brought him on the channel today because we got actually a decent amount of things to talk about, not the least of which being the newest DLC character who's just been added to the game, or who's just been revealed for the game, and among some other announcements that just took place on this Dragon Ball FighterZ show live stream that happened on the official Dragon Ball FighterZ channel, which, by the way, if you're not following that channel, I have it linked in the description down below so you guys can be sure to be aware of where all these announcements and things takes place, because this is something that's going to be reoccurring apparently in the future. But yeah, I mean, you got anything you want to start off with? Because they talked about a bit, and I definitely got some things I want to get off my chest about it. But where do we begin?
We could definitely start with the character himself, Roshi, and like
for sure.
I think they didn't show a lot. I guess we could start there. The
Bro,
10-second trailer's gotta go.
Listen, the FighterZ has notoriously and infamously had really short trailers, but that one has to take the cake. They showed his medium auto combo into super, and then it was a wrap.
That one felt extra bad for some reason. I don't know why it hit so different, but maybe because it was just so much of Roshi jumping around that it felt extremely short.
Yeah, it doesn't help.
It even left me like, I was like, oh, okay.
It doesn't help that his trailer was so short, because I mean, he's a very polarizing character, it seems like, right? I mean, you know, I've been vocal about not really caring much for the character, not really wanting to see him in the game. But that being said, I do just want to state real quick that even though I didn't want Roshi, I'm not actually angry he's being added to the game. Like, I'm gonna talk trash and I'm gonna make jokes, but like, I'm also the same guy who asked for Videl, and I don't main Videl, do I? But you know what I'm saying? So not every character is going to be for me. I've got my fair share, so I'm going to let everybody else have theirs as well. But Roshi is a character who seems to have people pretty split, and half the community is like, yo, this is sick, Roshi's hype, and then the other half are like, really? Y'all could have picked anybody and you picked Roshi, and then you deliver let's just be real, a pretty weak trailer, and people are just like, y'all made us wait through this whole stream for 10 seconds of gameplay for a character that we didn't want. Yeah, I'm finna head out.
Yeah, Roshi seems to be, I mean, this is about the response you would expect for a character like Roshi, but
for sure,
I can imagine on the developer side it's a little upsetting, because the Roshi was definitely a big choice for people. Like, there was a lot of people excited for.
Yeah,
they were like,
I feel like he's been the most requested character for the last 2 seasons.
I would say for sure, especially as somebody that does like YouTube videos. I'm sure. I mean, we've talked about it before, but every time there's a character announcement or I ask people what they want to see, at least like Roshi has to be one of the most popular to get recommended. Like, I want to see Roshi. I hope they add Roshi or bust. A lot of those kind of comments.
Right. It's funny too, because I feel like I didn't see that many people who were vocal about not wanting Roshi, despite so many people saying that they wanted him. Except for, like, I really feel like as far as people who were adamant, it's like, I don't want Roshi. I really feel like it's just me shouldering that hatred, right? And I use the word hatred as a joke, but like, yeah, but now you're seeing the people come out the woodwork. It's like, really, bro? Y'all picked Roshi? Like, this is the character that's being added? And so it almost feels like a lot of people like switching up. It's like, nah. Y'all been begging for this character. What do you mean you're not hyped now?
Yeah, it's always tough to see. But I just wanted to start off with the trailer restriction, because it felt so bad this time.
Yeah, I don't understand why they limit it so much. I guess, and especially when like the release date for the character, like, we don't have the exact day, but they say he's coming out in September, which is next month. So that
was another thing. I definitely miscalculated. I mean, with the state of the way things are in the world, obviously they were impacted. But it seems like they were like, this has really affected their flow, because I figured with the schedule we're on now,
right,
that it would be a sort of thing like, here's a trailer, and then boom, you know, a couple days later we get to play as him, something like that.
Yeah,
that energy disc was loaded.
I actually kind of anticipated like him being a playable like in a couple of days maybe or something.
Yeah,
and
I was like 2 or 3 days most. No, it's in fact, it also very unfortunate. This is not a criticism of the show, because it's bound to happen, but it seems like with Dragon Ball FighterZ, a DLC character is bound to get leaked, and this was one of the most unfortunate ways it could have happened.
Bro, I've never seen a company accidentally leak their own character half an hour before they were supposed to be revealed. Like, okay, that's not true. Well, was it Bandai?
That is not true, because it was Bandai. Bandai did that move.
Yeah, I was about to say Videl, right? Didn't they do the same thing?
2.
Yeah, okay. I caught myself, because I remember that too. But because I was streaming, and I remember somebody linked it to me while I was streaming, and we watched it on the stream before it got shown at because it was the world finals reveal, wasn't it?
It was the biggest event. Yeah, I remember it, because in the video. Ridiculous. In my video, or you can see me reacting to it, I was like, no, Bandai, you're stream, like, it was over. Like, at that point, it was like grand final. I was like, damn, that's crushing. Yeah. That one is a little less, I mean, I'll admit, this one was kind of funny to me, because it was so like who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? And then like literally on the screen it says who's it gonna be, but I was like,
right.
I don't know if that was intentional.
And then shout out to Abu and Damascus and Tyrant, and my condolences to Abu, because I'm not familiar with who he was prior to the stream, but he looked very visibly upset that happened. And then Tyrant was sitting there just looking kind of awkward. And big shout out to Damascus. My man was cool as a cucumber, act like he ain't see nothing. He was like, he kept it pushing, kept it moving, kept flowing, whatever he was talking about. But Damascus was like, or Tyrant was like, and Abu was like, not happy at all.
Yeah, it was kind of cool to see the level of professionalism, because I definitely, like, you could say
Damascus is seasoned for sure.
Damascus looked seasoned. They all reacted pretty well. Like you said, he was pretty visually upset, but I definitely would have laughed. I would have been fidgeting. I would have done something.
The camera would have came back to me, and I'd have just been over there giggling like,
my mic would have been muted, and I would have been dying, because I mean, on my stream, I definitely laughed, because my eyes definitely like wandered around too.
Right, but
I was like, I saw October. I was like reading the esports news, and then I was like, Master Roshi Showcase. Oh, okay. Wait, I don't know.
Master Roshi Showcase.
I don't know if we were supposed to know about this.
Like, I should have the clip, so I might throw it up here, because I don't know if I'm actually going to use that footage for a video, because I wasn't streaming, but I did record myself just in case anything crazy did pop off. I wanted to have that reaction for that. But like you could see, or you could hear, like when that got shown. Oh no, Trunks. When that got shown, I was like, oh no, somebody fucked up. I don't think we're supposed to see that. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. And speaking of unfortunate things, another thing I want to touch on is the netcode of the game, the online. A lot of people really had their hopes up for Rollback Netcode being added to the game, which, if you don't really know what Rollback is, all you really need to know is that it's a better version of the online that would just make it so that connections are better. Without going into too much detail, just know it's better than what we currently have. And Hiroki, the producer for the game, she addressed the fact that she's aware that people are vocal about it and they want to be added to the game, and she stated that it's kind of difficult. So for the time being, they're proceeding with the plan they currently have for like these online events. And so what that says to me is that, like, yeah, the same thing we've heard time and time again from these developers, that implementing rollback is costly and requires time and effort that they may or may not be able to have or put into it. But I have hope that this game can and may receive rollback one day. But my theory for it is basically that if this game's ever going to get rollback, it's not going to happen until after Guilty Gear Strive gets released, because that's ArcSys's attempt at implementing it in one of their games, and I feel like they're going to want to wait and see how well that gets received and how well it performs before they want to start adding it to other games on the fly like that. So I don't see it coming to this game anytime soon, but just with the way that she worded it and the fact that they're trying to get Strive, I feel like it is a chance. It's just not going to be anytime soon.
Yeah, what I have to say about that is, like, I definitely, like, you're more optimistic about me. I would, like, I guess FighterZ has sold well enough to warrant it, but for me, if I was running the business, I'd be like, nah, we'll save that if we do a FighterZ 2.
Well, that's also a possibility. Like, just whenever they do like the next version of the game or a sequel, like that's another thing.
An update.
Because like I said, you gotta understand. I'm saying, like, I don't see it happening at all until after Guilty Gear Strive gets released, and Guilty Gear Strive's not coming out until like next year, right?
Yeah, sometime in 2021.
So like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's going to be time before it happens, if it were to happen. And I'm not saying that it will, but obviously that's what we all want, right? Even if you don't know what rollback is, trust me, you want it. It would just be a better experience for everybody.
It definitely makes it minimizes location difference issues a ton. But also, I do want to touch on just Hiroki's response. Like you said, it was especially coming off of, I don't know if you were watching the fighting game roundtable.
Yes, that's why I was so relieved, and why I have hope, because, well, I'll let you finish, but yeah.
Yeah, they definitely, at the fighting game roundtable event, that question got dodged like they were main in UI.
Right, they were 6H in rollback every chance that they got.
Hiroki comes out, says, I mean, it's the same, like, it's hard to do, but it seemed a little more, like, honest. Like, yeah, like, we can't get it done, so we're going to keep going with this. But also, I don't know if you'd agree with this, the online tournament they're running, while different, seems to really be like, yes, we know what our online is, and yes, we know the limitations.
They seem self-aware.
We want to make this special.
They seem self-aware where we're currently at, and they've taken the proper measures to try to create the best experience they can for an online tournament. And I like the fact that they're trying to, and like, even though people have their gripes about it, and you can say what you want about the online, and I agree with a lot of it, is that, like, I like the fact that they're trying to continue to support the game through all the hardships and through all the problems that they know exist, and give us this content and give us something to watch and keep the game alive, because they could very easily just let the game die, especially with no offline scene right now, because of the current state of the world. It's like, well, our online sucks and offline can't happen, so I guess we're just done supporting this game. That'd be very easy for them to do, but obviously that's not what they want to happen. But
yeah,
it was like the very first thing. It was like the very first thing Hiroki addressed, like when she showed up, was yeah, we're aware that people have been asking for rollback. It's kind of hard to do, so for now, like this is what we're doing. But I'm glad that she talked about it at all.
Yeah, I was really happy she talked about it, and also like, I don't know, there's so many things about Fighters, like it sold so well. The fact that if you just keep the characters coming, I feel like the scene is always like, the casual scene at least is always going to be there waiting for a resurgence.
For sure.
So I don't know, them addressing it, I just really liked in general. And yeah, I think you're going to be hard pressed to find actual competitive players that don't respect the, like, because even Capcom right now is another big fighting game developer, and I feel like their online tournament is like, it's almost like the Wild West, it's almost like,
it's been a bit laughable. I've peeked my head into a couple of those streams, and it's
been tough. It's been tough for Capcom.
Did you see the thing with IDOM?
I did not see it fully, but I did see the surrounding events.
I didn't watch this one, but like I heard there was something wrong with Punk yesterday or the day before with the tournament he was in. I don't know what happened, but it sounded funny to me. But I'm so here minding my business, but I just heard through the grapevine that something rather interesting took place. But that's but yeah, it's like I'm just glad that they're being a little bit more open and transparent than it seemed like a lot of other fighting game developers want it to be.
Also, speaking about, I guess this will move us on to a next topic, but speaking about creating content for the game, we did get news of a mid-season balance adjustment.
Yeah, and so that's another thing that I saw a lot of people getting their hopes up for this stream, was some sort of announcement of a balance patch. And me being the person I am, and I've been around the block for a minute, I'm saying a couple times, this ain't my first rodeo. I go into these announcements, these streams with zero expectations, expecting the worst, expecting to not come out of this satisfied or happy or excited. Because I'm just like, I see it far too often when people get their hopes up for things and then they come out disappointed. It happened at the Fighting Game Roundtable, happens at every Sony conference, every Nintendo Direct. People are like, oh, we're going to get this, and this. We're going to get Marvel 4 and Breath of the Wild 3 and like all this. Did you just jump forward to J2? Anyway.
I was hoping if I had a face cam, you would have seen my face, because I definitely perked up. I was like, what did I just do right there? Yeah, okay, moving on. I'm glad we both acknowledged that. That was really stupid, but I'm glad it worked. I definitely wide of my eye. I was like, oh.
People always get like their hopes up really high for things like this, and I'm just not one of those people. So I wasn't even expecting a balance patch at all. So I was pleasantly surprised when they did say that there's going to be one. Now, what it's going to entail, what's going to happen in it, yet to be determined. But again, I always keep my expectations low. So I don't know what they have in store for the patch, but I'm not gonna hold my breath for Videl buffs and Goku Black buffs and making Trunks even deadlier than he already is or anything crazy like that. But
yeah, I'm definitely of the expectation. I'm really happy we heard it. They brought up assist in general, so I'm looking forward to hearing more about that. God. But also, thank you. Also, I'm just happy they addressed that. Hiroki really put in a lot of work this one. She showed up. It was real quick. She showed up, mentioned a lot of great things, and then left
and took off. I love her, bro. We gotta protect her at all costs.
I honestly I think she does a lot of great work for fighters.
For sure.
But yeah, it's crazy how that small part ended up being a huge part about that. But yeah, I'm hoping they address some assist stuff like that. I mean, people were talking about it on Twitter, but I feel like a lot of us are looking at Bardock B right now, and maybe that's not, the super one we should be focusing on, but they might do a bit of adjusting on that or something. I don't know. It's going to be fun looking forward to that.
Here's my thing, right? Everybody thinks that, but I will not be surprised at all if nothing happens to Bardock B whatsoever.
I know. That's the thing. Is like, what in fighters, usually the thing you look at is not the thing that changes.
Right.
I'm trying to think of like Jiren. We all look at Jiren when a balance patch rolls around, but has it ever been Jiren? No. So usually in fighters, you just you get blindsided.
Like, yeah, it's fun to speculate all day long about what might change and how it might change and what characters we want to see get changed in what ways. But at the end of the day, I'm just like, anything could or couldn't happen. So nothing we can really do but wait and see.
In fact, you know what? Now that I think about it a little more, I kind of feel like Krillin's rocks might get nerfed. I don't know why.
That's mad random.
That washed over me. I don't know. It just seems like something that would happen to me. My luck with Krillin has been too good lately, and they could definitely.
It's still wild to me that they made the rock assist as good as it is after they gave him beam. It's like
it's one of the best assists in the games now.
It is pretty good.
I literally don't use it because I whine so much about a beam assist that I can't go back.
Nah,
it actually hurts to play the rock assist because I feel like I let people down.
I know a big one people are expecting or hoping for is like for Super Saiyan Goku to get his 2M back. Well, to get his 2M back, which I don't know if that'll happen, but here's the thing I'll say about Super Saiyan Goku, right? I don't really care for Super Saiyan Goku. It's never been my character, right? Kind of thought he was boring. Not really for me, right? But I never felt like he needed to be nerfed. I felt like he was really good, but he never seemed like unfair. Like, he was incredibly popular because he worked well as anchor. He had a beam assist. He's one of the only characters with beam assist, right? But I felt like he already was going to fall off anyway because they gave so many other characters access to beam assist. So
I agree.
And it's not like the 2M was overpowered either. I really feel like he's a character who kind of got memed to death. Like, we memed 2M and then they actually cut his legs off. It's like, it's kind of insane.
I agree.
And I know you agree because you played the character. But yeah, like,
I was gonna say, imagine this conversation from someone who made you Super Saiyan Goku.
Right. So I'm saying this even from the perspective of somebody who didn't like or play the character, but I still don't agree with the nerf. I think it's funny because I don't play him, so like, what does it matter to me, right? But it was kind of a bad change, if you ask me, if I'm honest.
Yeah, that's the last time I ever joke about one of my mans. That was genuinely tragic.
Nice.
It was I would love to see Super Saiyan. It's just my main reason behind it is not even that. I mean, yeah, I think Super Saiyan Goku is still a good character, is the funny thing, but
I think he is too.
I think he would have naturally fell off. I really do. I think he.
Yeah, because I think the biggest appeal was the beam assist.
Beam assist.
So many characters have that now.
Yeah, he doesn't have a low 2L. I mean, he's just a very standard character, which is, ironically, it makes him boring to a lot of people, but I kind of really like the standard kind of flavor of fighting games.
Right, like you play like Soul
now with that 2M
nerf, and yeah.
The 2M nerf feels so over-exaggerated that it actually feels like a joke by the developers.
The frame data nerf on it is, I kind of feel like they went overboard because, again, I don't feel like it needed to be nerfed in the first place, but like they made it slower, they made it like more unsafe on block, and it looks laggy when you do it. Like y'all didn't have to go that hard with it. Like, it went from 10 frames to 14 frames, and they buffed the range of it, but it's like, I don't know. It's not like the move is unusable now. It's just significantly worse than it was because that move was really good before.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's just one of those things, like when people talk about, oh, I prefer buffs over nerfs because nerfs never feel good, I'm always like, a lot of the time nerfs kind of are almost invisible to the eye. But this one is, like, I feel like if a casual player that likes Super Saiyan Goku must have been so disappointed.
Right.
Like, there must be a casual player out there that's just like, what happened? What did I do wrong? Where did my 2M go? But yeah, that one was a bit over exaggerated and a bit too on the. I thought that was a Dragon Rush for some reason.
I love it.
It felt too much.
Damn, are you still alive? You're still alive.
Oh wow, I am.
Sad. Hold this? No? Okay. Beam? Hey, why you walking menacingly in this direction, bro? Wait.
I'm just trying to catch up.
But yeah, so they also said that like this fighter showcase is something that's going to be happening more often, or not showcase, but like the fighters show. And I'm like, what are they? So they're going to do like exhibition matches, which is cool because they're getting like a lot of like high-level players from all around the world competing with each other. In fact, as of the recording of this video, they're still doing one right now with some of the European players, and I was quite enjoying it, but I did want to get this video out as quickly as I could, so I sacrificed my own enjoyment, you know, to secure the bag, get on the ground, you feel me, because you know how I do, you know what I'm saying? But I can always go back and watch it after this. But yeah, so like right now, when I was watching, they had Jilla and Obi Assassin, two strong players from EU, and before that it was Rudy versus Kaiden. And if you don't know about Rudy and Kaiden, Rudy is a really great Kid Buu Bardock Trunks player, and Kaiden plays Kefla Cooler in 18, and he's disgustingly good at this game. And then before that, they had like Nokami and Mizi. So yeah, like these shows have like a lot of good things going for it. It seems. I'm just curious as to what else they're going to be doing or talking about to where they're going to be doing this more and more often.
Yeah, I mean, it looked to me like a lot of the schedule was like, you know, the online events. I think that's where they're going to host the round robin stuff like that. But
right, but you got to imagine that they're going to have something else. Like I don't know whether it's like balance things or like other announcements for the game. I don't know.
This might actually be. I didn't think about this until now, but I think they will do more content on that. But this might be them starting to move to like a more normal, like, I don't know. Another big thing people want is like, why are all the reveals in a magazine? Like, why don't we do like events after gameplay? And maybe this shows them starting to move towards something like that, which would be super exciting. And I think it fit the FGC mold a little better. But even if it ends up being nothing but like community content or like big events, not big events, but just like exhibition matches and stuff like that, I still think that's a really nice touch.
Yeah, speaking of round robin, the whole way they're doing this this online tournament, like how they're like, you know, dividing it up by region, and they're gonna have like an invitation. It's not necessarily invitational per se, but like they're, you know, the way they're choosing the players isn't just like open bracket, anyone can enter type deal. I forget some of the specific details, but yeah, it was funny to me because at first when they revealed it, I was like, so wait, do you guys already know in your minds who you guys are gonna invite to this and have participate in this tournament? Because like there's a fair amount of top players, especially in the US, who are very vocal about not liking the online of this game, and I was like, well, I mean, I don't know if y'all contacted these people already, but I could name a few players who would very likely say, no, I don't want to be a part of this thing because I don't think the online of the game is very good. And I ain't gonna name drop, I ain't trying to make nobody block hot, but like, yeah, if you keep ears to the streets, if you know, watch the community, you know who those people are. Like, there are some people who really do not like the online of this game and try to avoid it like the plague.
Yeah, it's that's kind of why I was mixed about the 8-person thing, because I was like, on one hand, that's very limited, but on the other, I mean, I feel like regardless of what happens, you can find 8 guys that'll play
right.
something.
It's just that like some of the top picks might have been people who'd be like, you know, I'm good off that, homie.
That is also very true.
And even still, even with it being divided up by region, I think some of them will, because some of them, like their sponsors will probably to say, hey, like you should probably do this, right? And some of them will want to do it because they'll realize it'll be good for the content. But like I said, there are a few who don't care about stuff like that. Would have been like, bro, you can keep that.
Yeah, so that's definitely going to be an issue. But looking at I rated after my stream, I rated Super Noon, and he seemed pretty jazzed about the news. And I don't want to put him on blast, but he doesn't love the online.
Nah,
he definitely talks about it flaws, but he seems pretty okay with it.
They got us, and by us I mean like, you know, people like you and I, and even more so like the more pro level players. They got us hook, line, and sinker because, like, you know, quarantine and everything, and a lot of people have come around. It's like, bro, I just really want to play this game right now, but I just know where to go. So like, I have no choice but to play it online. I feel like he's definitely victim of that as well. Plus, he's actually been on his grind with his streaming, his YouTube and stuff. So it's just like, you know, I'll do the net play for the content. But yeah, it's it's not something I normally would have expected to be excited about.
Yeah, but yeah, I love that. Hopefully they send out. I was mainly worried about people feeling like they got robbed, which, you know, I'm sure there will be some of that as well. But yeah, I think it's overall, I mean, I think they're doing the best with what they can. I would honestly say this is the best option they could have gone with.
I agree. Like, obviously some people are like, well, no, the best option would have been if they added rollback and then another term was going to be like that. But like, that's an unrealistic expectation. Like, just let's be honest with ourselves. That was never going to happen, and I know that was a dream for a lot of people. And listen, I would have been head over heels if that happened, but that was never, that's never the way it's going to work out.
If that happened, I feel like every community, like every fighting game community, you playing fighters now. You got everybody in the world has to buy fighters. That's generous. That's like, you know what? We just added rollback. We're back. We just want to see what happens. It's open to everybody. Like, oh, so y'all really just made a wish for this to happen. I don't even know how you guys got this done.
You really just mashed there and killed me for it. I don't even know how you made that happen.
Hell yeah. Sometimes when I speak, my IQ drops below 0 and I reach a state of just pure mash.
It was a good play. It was a good play. Good stuff. I think I wasn't really paying attention. I was more focused on the talk, but I think I got bodied this video.
Was it not 2-3? I don't remember.
I wasn't keeping count. I think I just lost the last 2 or 3 though.
I definitely don't remember either.
But I think that pretty much wraps up all the major things I want to touch on. Unless there's anything I'm forgetting that you want to talk. Matter of fact, let's it'll be a bit of a longer video, but let's run one more game while we adjust one more thing. So
you're right. We need one more.
Going back to Master Roshi, bro.
Yeah, let's talk about this.
There's so many people that are like, but Master Roshi can't fly. How's he gonna super dash, bro? First of all, who cares? Second,
honestly,
let him. First of all, I don't even really look at super dashing like flying like that anyway. And Master Roshi can jump higher than we're flying in this game, regardless. So like, what does it really matter? We just pretend like he's jumping and running very fast, bro. Like, get over it. Who actually cares? Now, since they gave Videl no reflect, I wouldn't be surprised if they make it so he can't super dash. But I think that'd be a very bad decision for the character.
He would have to be a monster of a character to even be playable at that point.
He would have to be ridiculous on the ground in terms of neutral and everything, bro. And he'd have to have like crazy air-to-airs and like it. Yeah.
Like, he'd have to be like, no joke. Without super dash, that's such a core mechanic. Like, without a reflect, sure, you could make a character good enough to warrant that. Videl is not that character, but I feel like you could. Super dash, I don't want to see that character.
Right. And I think even though Kami said it on the stream, he's like, if that character doesn't have super dash, I'm not gonna touch him. Good reflect. But yeah, shout out to my homie Martyr, because he made a tweet. He was like, bro, who cares if he can't fly? Just let him super dash. It's just a game. It's not that serious. But like, you know, the purists, the lore monsters, they seem very passionate about that, and I just don't think it's that big of a deal
So
at
here's
all.
the thing. I've been doing fighters on YouTube for a little bit now. And as a fighting game, I would say I honestly would put Dragon Ball above fighting games for me. Like, I loved Dragon Ball when I was a kid before I ever played fighting games. But I'm also a huge fan of fighting games. So when Dragon Ball FighterZ came out, I'm thinking in terms of fighting games. So when this goes back to Broly for me. When Broly came out, and we could talk about the state of the game and how I tried to prevent this. But in my old videos, you can hear me say, I hope they make Broly really slow so that his grabs are more, you know, scared. Like, they can make his grabs even scarier. But then people were, you know what comments I got? You know, technically Broly's just as fast, if not faster and stronger than the Z fighters. I was like, come on, bro, it's a fighting game.
Right, like
they can seriously make a character faster and stronger. Lo and behold, they were right. They did. And that's,
you know,
easy Broly.
Broly is very much like he is in the movies. It turns out, but you know,
Yeah, it turns out they did, and I was wrong. But I thought he was going to be balanced, so that's on me. But yeah, I mean, even as far as Super Dash, Master Roshi as a human being, if we are going to get really engrossed in being big anime fans here, he could jump that fast. He could jump as fast as a Super Dash.
right.
They were running at light speed in Dragon Ball. Like, they could jump to the moon if they wanted to, bro.
And to be honest, man, if Master Roshi wanted to fly, he could fucking fly.
Yeah, let's be honest.
Let's be honest. If he wanted to fly, he could. He's choosing not to fly.
There's nothing about him that says,
He doesn't sit here and tell me Videl can learn to fly and Roshi can't. He's choosing not to fly, and here come the lore monsters again. Well, he doesn't want to learn it because flying is actually a move from the Crane Hermit and their rivals, and he doesn't like. All the more reason, yeah. All you're doing by telling me that is that if Roshi wanted to, he could fly.
I just the lack of faith people have in the man that invented the move that has stopped every major villain to ever stumble across.
But it's so crazy, right? Because all the Roshi defenders, they're like, bro, Roshi the GOAT, Roshi a OG. He invented the Kamehameha. You tell me the nigga who invented the Kamehameha can't figure out how to fly if he wants to?
If he wanted to, he could fly. If he wants to, he can fly. Super Dash does not necessarily have to be flying, but if he wanted to, he could fly. Also, I guess since we made it this far and we didn't get we kind of got all that out of our system. What do you think about them going with the TOP look for Roshi? I know you weren't looking forward to Roshi anyway, but
I mean, I don't mind. I mean, as far as the looks that they have to choose from, that's, you know, it's cool, I guess.
yeah, I definitely thought they were gonna go Dragon Ball, but the more I thought about it, that's a really like round design. Like, I was looking at old Roshi, I was like, man, this man is a circle.
Yeah, he like slouches. He's like bow-legged and he's like mad short. I think the more streamlined look for him works for sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
I think it's
if,
also
honestly,
like a
this
more
was a choice that was made for fighting.
I think it's also like a more serious look, which I think fits better for this. Because first of all, I'm not the biggest fan of like jokey characters in the first place, which was one of the reasons why I didn't want Roshi. But yo, chill.
Chill.
That's not chilling, Dato.
I'm chill.
Good shit. But yeah, like I am mad at the look for sure, and I'm not mad at the character in general. He's just wouldn't have been one of my picks, that's for certain.
I'll also say I will give credit for showing the Mafuba so early. It's a fun idea for a move, and I'm glad they included it.
It's among the only two things they showed, but yeah.
It's one of the two things, but I'm glad they made it one of the two things. Also, I'm glad they put the cap on it. Like, I hope that's what he does when it kills.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Because at first, like, they did medium auto combo in the super, so I was like, oh, that must be his level 1. But like, that definitely looks like a level 3, and it's probably like Android 21 level 3 of Majin Buu, where like when they eat them, but if it killed the character, then that's how it ends. That's probably how it's gonna be.
Exactly. I really hope that's how it is, because that would be, I mean, this is on a different level, but for my channel, I do raid videos, and that would make an amazing intro. That would be so funny to get by.
But that is pretty much everything I wanted to talk about, I think, and it was a bit of a longer video, but I think you guys will enjoy this one, especially since it's with Dato, because y'all are always thirsty for more matches and more conversation with Dato. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, be sure to hit it with a like, subscribe if you haven't already so you can stay tuned for all awesome content I plan on bringing you. And with all that being said, that's pretty much all I have for today. But remember, nothing can happen between the bad. Later.